Good morning. I'm your friend Scotty Ray, and off to the races we go. It is Wednesday. We're starting today out at 68. Not as hot today. We'll only get to 83 is what our temperature says. There's a reason. We've got thunderstorms in the forecast and possibly severe weather that will move into the area later this afternoon, sometime between 1 and 7. Now, we've already got showers popping up on radar, and let's take a look at that as we get this morning started so you'll know where we are and what we've got. Showers to our west in Scott County. This is going to be right around the Welcome Center if you're going to be headed in that direction, and quickly moving toward Newton County. There's going to be a few showers there in a little bit. Anywhere south or east of Philadelphia this morning, you're going to be in wet conditions as you travel. Now, we've already got the roads wet from last night, but this will just complicate things on a lot of two-lane highways. Be careful as you get out of Lauderdale County and cross into Newton. Right around House, showers pick up. Highway 491, a lot of rain there, and also around Tucker. And then east on Highway 16 this morning, we got a lot there. Now, as we go to Kemper County, look at this. This is our heaviest of activity that we've got going that starts in DeKalb, takes in all of Preston, up through Cypress Mills, and goes due north up 39, even into Noxubee County, crossing over Highway 14 there. If you've got that route that you travel back and forth in between the two a good bit today, it's going to be a wet one there for you there, about a 4-mile stretch of heavy rain. As you'll see, this is moving and will be further before it reaches there. Severe weather today. Let's take a quick look at what we've got on this before we get into other things this morning. This is our storm prediction, and let's back out to take a look at this. Now, again, as I mentioned, this will be sometime between 1 and 4 this afternoon as we look at the severe weather. And it's going to go all the way over to the Jackson, Mississippi area, take in Laurel, go up to West Point, and then go due east all the way to the Carolinas, across Alabama, across Georgia. Well, watch this. And again, this should be somewhere between 1 and 7 p.m. this afternoon. As you'll see there, we're showing some fog there showing up, somewhere around Selma, Alabama. Look at that. A lot of that. If you're in that neck of the woods today, or Albany, Georgia, a lot of fog and kind of scattered up here as we get into Tennessee. So lots of caution should be used as you begin your day in the different areas. LaWanda, good morning. Glad to see you. Becky is joining us. Also, Bob McNeese. Terry, how are you? Happy hump day, Nina. I agree with you. Doesn't it feel good to make it halfway through the week? I have to be honest, I've had many plans that I was going to accomplish by Wednesday. And as I look back, I don't think I've gotten any of those done. How things pop up in your direction turns. That happens to us on a daily basis, and maybe I'll get back on track before it's all said and done. All right, as I mentioned this morning, I hope you'll come back at 7. This should be an interesting show as we will have a great guy coming in. Brother Ben is going to be filling in for Odie this week, as Odie has gone to a convention somewhere. Not sure if it's a Shriners convention or what it might be, but Odie's going to be out of town. And Brother Ben is so graciously going to join us this week from Collinsville Baptist Church. And as always, we feature the church each and every weekday morning. Let's get a good word from him to get this hour started, and then we'll have him coming up at 7 also.
Well, good morning on this fine Wednesday. Have you looked at your calendar yet today to see what's on the agenda? If you're a Christian, I know one thing that should be on there, the Great Commission. Did you know you've been commissioned? We read in Matthew 28 that after Jesus' resurrection, he gathered his disciples together on a mountain in Galilee, and he proclaimed these words: "All authority in heaven and on earth has been given to me. Go therefore and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit, teaching them to observe all that I've commanded you. And behold, I'm with you always to the end of the age." That's the Great Commission, and it extends to every follower of Jesus Christ. God the Father has given the authority to Jesus, and Jesus has commissioned us to make disciples wherever we go in our daily lives. We're to share the good news of Jesus, call people to turn from sin and trust in Him, baptize them when they do, and then teach them to follow all Jesus has commanded. It's not just a sometimes thing or across the ocean thing. No, it's a right here, right now, this very day sort of thing. So be a Great Commission Christian today. If that's not on your calendar, you better add it. This community needs you to tell them all about the hope that is found in Jesus. Change begins in you.
The Change Begins in You is brought to you in part by Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville. Patrick Allen Companies, Mitchell Tire and Wrecker in Collinsville, and Mowdy Cabinetry. Streets are wet. Currently 68 as you're waking up at Key Field in Meridian. We've got a little bit of a temperature change as you move forward and northward, but overall we're in the mid-60s there, so be careful. Streets are wet. As we start looking at headlines across America this morning, and we touched on this yesterday morning, the problem is you're not going to hear this everywhere. There's a few places that are bringing it up, but the Durham Report, are you familiar with what I'm talking about? I can't tell you the millions upon millions and possibly into the billions that a probe cost American taxpayers. It went on and on and on. And if you said anything otherwise, that it was wrong what they were saying, then you were the guilty party. Y'all remember this? Russia, the collusion? As we see yesterday that the press secretary at the White House abruptly cut the meeting short and walked off when questioned about this. They don't want that out. As we go over to CNN last night, Anderson Cooper has yet to bring it up, although he argued for months that it was collusion and that Trump was guilty and everybody associated with him was guilty. Do we remember top aides being drug out of their home in the middle of the night by armed police? Well, FBI agents, I think, is who they were, if we will remember. That happened. At the end of the day, the report comes out and says it's all false. It never happened. That the investigation never should have happened, and yet we don't hear an apology yet. What else, as I mentioned yesterday, to a degree of what else are we not being told the truth on? This goes so deep in our government. Our country has gotten off on a track to where there's a lot of people that just don't trust it anymore, and we understand that. When you see this, and then you see the major news networks follow whatever they're told to do, and it seems as though there is no one who actually investigates. We'll even talk about this morning. Pulitzer Prize. Do y'all know what that is? Newspaper got an award for doing their coverage of this, the in-depth detail of just how perfect it was and their great coverage of uncovering the truth. They were awarded. Calls are now going, the New York Times should give this back. Will they? It should be canceled. We're going to watch all that. Now, this is the early stages of it, but I guarantee you there's more that is not true. And this can be on both sides of the aisle, but this one is about something that tried to derail an election, and we all know that as we look at this. Oh, did I mention the IRS has taken the whistleblower and canceled the investigation? The IRS has canceled the investigation into Hunter Biden. The entire team probing Hunter Biden's tax returns has been dismantled. Imagine that. Whether you like Biden or not, or maybe you're a great fan of his, something's fishy. Do we know the truth? No. What happens when we have leaders that are also in powerful positions when it's time for them to step down? I'm sure that a few of those came to mind when I made that comment about leaders that represent you in Washington, or maybe on the state level, maybe on a local level. But I bring in Dianne Feinstein. She's been out for 3 to 4 months now, somewhere along in there. It could be a little less than that, but at least 2 months from her duty at the Capitol. In a statement yesterday, she was confused and said that she had voted on everything. She had been there through it all. She's been out of the office for 2 months. She's in poor health. I don't know if you've seen pictures of her. She's somewhere around 89. I'm not running her down. She's just not doing well. And we, as most Americans, feel that there is a time when you can't represent the people the way you should, that you should step down and let there be the election process. And I had someone even send me a note overnight. Term limits. Do y'all remember that word? Boy, wouldn't that be good? That might straighten out America to a degree, mightn't it? This is horrible that kids can be bad. We go to Louisiana, a child that had cerebral palsy. His other students in the school took his wheelchair and raced down the hallway and left him on the floor. He's saying he's too distraught to turn to school, and, well, you can see that as well, how kids can be mean. It's awful that something could happen. Now, I don't know where the school officials were during all of this, why they weren't there and what they couldn't do. but it's awful for a child that is in that shape to be treated that way. And I think each of us agree with that. Parents, as I look at this, we go to the Bronx. Is where we go for this headline this morning. 7-year-old child drowned in a swimming pool while her mother drank at a bar. There's no excuse for that in my book. You may see it differently than me, but not I. Now, we've got a lot of stories coming up this morning. Local events that have gone on. There's some good, there's some bad, but we want you to know them all. That's going to be coming up at 7 a.m. I don't want you to miss it. Be here as we continue to pray for our country and do the right thing. We're going to tell you about it all that happens at 7. We'll be right back with your forecast to let you know what to expect today, what's going to be going on with all of this. We'll be right back.
Hello, my name's Kenneth Graham, and I'm running for coroner of Lauderdale County. For over 50 years, Lauderdale County's been represented by professional and competent coroners. I would like to continue that tradition. Over the next several months, I want to educate the public on what the coroner does and dispel any myths about the coroner job. I can show you that I will be the most professional coroner there is. So please vote for me August the 8th.
Paid for by the Committee for the Election of Kenneth Graham. Time to shake a leg and put a smile on as you're getting ready for work as we get ready for another great day. All right, as we've looked at radar, we're going to recap all of our weather today as we head toward the top of the hour to let you be prepared for it. Let's get into what the National Weather Service tells us.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
As we look at our record highs and record lows, back in 62, we had a high of 93. We're going to be 10 degrees at least, less than that today. The record low was, well, yeah, that's been a long time, hasn't it? Over a decade. 2011. Can you believe that? It was 43 on this morning back in 2011. As we move forward, look at the forecast for today. 83 is the best we're going to get Meridian. 82 in Philadelphia as you go further northward there toward Winston, up to Noxapater, all the way to Columbus and around Stark Vegas. 81 to our south, warmer. 86 in Hattiesburg. And over to our west, we'll see Vicksburg, 83, and Natchez, somewhere around 84. Not bad weather, but basically the same as what we've got in the Meridian area. As we go east into Bama, 81 in Tuscaloosa, Roll Tide, and 81 there in Birmingham. Warmer to the south for there at Demopolis, 84 this morning, and we should see 83 in Livingston, Alabama. Not that far from the Meridian area, is it? Now, this is our level 1 that we're expecting that we looked at on my radar just a few moments ago. The timing of this is going to be 1 to 7. They're not mentioning tornadoes, but never forget they can't be ruled out because it's Mother Nature. But what we are expecting, damaging wind gusts, hail up to quarter-size hail, and severe thunderstorms. As we saw those roll through the area yesterday afternoon, a lot of those, and we didn't even have a level 1 on that. Not that far south, we didn't. 1 to 7, be prepared for that. We'll watch it. We'll be here behind the scenes telling you exactly what's going on with the weather, so be prepared for that. As we look at this, we're normal at this 83, 84 temperature here. Cooler in South Texas. That won't last long, will it? California is starting to warm up, and even in the Midwest, warmer as we look at that. Our 7-day outlook brought to you by our friends at Wilson Saw and Outdoor Power gives us that 83 today. But look at that rain chance. 80% chance today. There's probably not much chance we'll get out of that, is it? That's pretty strong as we look at tomorrow. 84 for that high, but dropping half of that, 40% chance of rain. Now, our best chances of not getting rain are going to be Friday and Sunday. It looks like we'll get it again on Saturday with that 40% chance, but 20% chance on both Friday and Sunday. But it does look a little bit better. Look at that. Just rain chances each and every day as we try to end the month of May. We go ahead and let's take a look all the way through the 31st is what we've got here. 83, we're going to get back around the 25th to those upper 80s there, above the 86, 87, 80-degree marker. And by the 31st, it hits 91. Let me tell you, those couple of days that we had in the 90s last weekend was downright hot. I know that y'all remember that well, don't you? Our fishing forecast for today, Chet tells us, be out there right before 11 o'clock today and stay around to about 1. Should be pretty good before that big rain comes in. The fish should be biting. Should be good for you. Now, the wind originally is going to be kind of calm in the morning, northwest around 5. That's going to change as the thunderstorms roll in and start bringing a little bit more wind to the area. what was it? Have an awards day. Isn't that LaWanda tells us that West Lauderdale Middle School will have awards day today. Congratulations, boy. That sounds class of 2029. Wow. Seems so far off, but really that's not that far, is it? It isn't. My, oh my, oh my, how time seems to slip away from us all. Good morning, Adele. Hope you're doing well, too. Sandra, good morning. Glad to see you there. Bob is up. We had a few wrecks last night. We're going to discuss all of that this morning beginning at 7. As I said, Brother Ben's going to be here. I want you to pay attention to this guy. He's good. He's going to be joining us from the First Baptist Church of Collinsville. Join us, won't you? All coming up this morning. We'll see you soon as we get ready. It's 6:46 now. We kick everything off at 7. We'll be right back.
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners: